I'm sure you guys have known me long enough. I'm usually like not overly positive or overly negative. Like I'm usually pretty logical. Some characters I play I think are really good, some characters I don't. Like I have a pretty balanced thoughts. I legit think Diddy Kong beats Pikachu. Like just straight up wins. And Joker, but a lot of people already think that. You guys want to see a Diddy matchup chart today? Instead of seeing this as a definitive matchup chart, I would like you guys to see it as my progress with the character. I haven't done it, but I'm gonna assume it's even or disadvantage. Banjo is probably... I haven't done it, but I'm gonna assume it's even or disadvantage. Because I think Diddy has a lot of movement tech and will be able to body Banjo up close. But Banjo will be able to do his annoying Banjo thing most of the time. Bayo is in strong advantage. She has a really hard time getting clean hits or killing Diddy. Bowser is either advantage or strong advantage. He gets bullied mercilessly. He can't recover because of Z drop down air too. That happens a lot. This is probably normal advantage. Byleth is probably advantage. Falcon is probably normal advantage. I'll put Corrin in strong advantage, Cloud in advantage, DK in strong advantage. Duck Hunt is in strong disadvantage. Here's our first bad matchup. Banana is like really easy to deal with. That's usually not a thing in a lot of matchups. Like Banana's always a problem, but dude, this matchup is terrible. It's so bad. I call them roadblocks. Roadblocks are really good against Diddy. The lingering projectiles, the moves that kind of just stand on the stage, like the gunman and the side B and the can, like they're just there and they take up the stage, and like Banana doesn't have like as much of a threat range. Doc is like pretty good against Diddy. Mario is like really good against Diddy, so I don't know where to put this. I'll just put it in normal advantage. Falco, I'll put it in normal advantage. Fox might be our second disadvantage. I'm not positive. Why is Doc hard for Diddy? I haven't done it. I actually am surprisingly having a hard time describing the hard matchups, but Doc is surprisingly hard. I don't know what it is. Fox is even. I actually might think so too. It's really close. Diddy has so much tech though for killing Fox. Crazy out of shield, kill power, safe ass moves that is hard to punish with Banana. Yeah, he's also really small. Even though Doc is so slow, I find myself being cornered like all the time against Doc. The way he positions himself is really awkward. I'm always trading. I can't get clean hits. I can't get Banana. I like monkey flip at him and he like fucking like up smashes me or something crazy. Like I can't hit Doc. Chrom, I'm gonna put in normal advantage. Steve, I'm gonna put in even. There is potential for it to be disadvantage, but there's some stuff you can do against the blocks and a lot of stuff. And also, if you're actually fighting Steve up close, you're gonna bully him. He doesn't have great out of shield or range. Ganon on the advantage, just a character outclass. Greninja could be even. It's similar to Fox. I haven't done it though. It's either even or a slight advantage. Yeah, I'll put it in even for now. Trust my gut. Hero's probably even. It seems rough sometimes. Hero's so unfun. It doesn't seem fun at all with Diddy. It seems like painful. But the frame data is Diddy's chance to win. I just don't know if I want to put it in disadvantage. It's kind of like Steve and Banjo. Their flaws are still there. Diddy's still like a good brawler. Icy's probably disadvantage. I think Diddy can press a lot of buttons. Diddy can up B in neutral versus Icy's. Oh yeah. Incineroar, probably strong advantage. Can run circles around him. Z drop is probably really rough. Ike, I'll put that in strong advantage. Ike is really slow and sword characters naturally have a hard time with Diddy. His specific kind of recovery is exploitable in a lot of different ways. Ike uses a lot of air dodges in the blast zone. Diddy has a lot of burst options to kill you for air dodging towards out of the blast zone. He gets Z dropped. Yeah, F tilt's also really good. F tilt will straight up beat his side B if you time it right. All of the Diddy tricks kind of just work on Ike, along with a basic Diddy game plan also beats Ike, like in terms of like the neutral and all that, like typical Diddy style, like a Smash 4 type style, like not crazy tricks. Every style works is what I'm trying to say. There won't be many techniques that aren't successful versus Ike. Inkling I think is a slight advantage. I feel like Inkling and Diddy play a similar game, but I think Diddy plays it even better in their specific head-to-head. I don't think Inkling can keep up. I enjoy the matchup as someone who actually fucking hates Inkling too. So it's like a really good sign for the matchup. It's probably my favorite character I've ever used against Inkling, so. She can dash under banana. Yeah, but like I said, like it's not really the type of play style. You're not really throwing the banana willy-nilly all the time. Diddy isn't tossing banana in a lot of matchups, like just tossing it. He's usually holding on to it a lot. Isabelle is disadvantage. It's a bad matchup. It's really funny that we just talked about Diddy beating a good character like Inkling and losing to Isabelle. This is the life of Diddy Kong. The projectiles are really rough. It really disrupts Diddy's flow, and Isabelle doesn't care about banana, along with taking banana from Diddy. The matches are going to be at least 5 minutes every time. I think Isabelle has a lot of potential to just time Diddy out. That's where the problem comes in and where it becomes like a losing matchup, is there's the projectiles, but then there's also a lot of frame data behind them, and she actually kind of brawls up close. She is a little slow though, so if it was ever, I don't think it would ever go into strong disadvantage. She's a little slow, and she's a little susceptible when she's recovering too. Maybe it could be even. I could see that. I'll have to grind with good Isabelles to learn more, I guess. Same here. I could be wrong. Like I said, like this is kind of just like a process with Diddy. It takes a lot of time to learn him, but I have been playing him for a while, so I feel like I have a general idea of how his matchups would go. And I think this one's rough. I think Isabelle will be able to camp, deal with banana, take banana, get you off her really easily. And I don't know if she's too susceptible for a lot of early kills. She'd have to make some pretty big mistakes with her game plan. Joker is a slight advantage. He's one of the characters that can actually occasionally edgeguard Joker outside of Arsene. He has a lot of tricks. With Arsene, he has Z-drop dare. He has F-tilt, which is very active. A lot of his combos have like a lot of hits or last a while. He does a lot of grab follow-ups and a lot of monkey flips. The meter dwindles down very quickly. Diddy's general game plan wastes Arsene pretty heavily, especially if he's getting the 2 frames or the edge guards, because you have to keep trying to come back. And he has throw combos and the back throw that like puts you off stage, and then he gets 1 F tilt, and then all of a sudden you're taking so long to come back, and then you're either dead or Arsene's gone, and then you repeat the process. Diddy has a lot of movement tech to play neutral and deal with the projectiles and the guns. Banana pressure is really good on down guns if he lands on platforms. Diddy's also very small. Joker does kind of get annoyed with small characters. From a Joker perspective, Joker can definitely do it because Joker has even more mobility than Diddy, and his projectiles will overall do more damage from like far ranges. So Joker always has the option to chip away at you and time you out. I actually think Joker would be going for a timeout in this matchup, and that's why it's not a huge advantage for Diddy. Yeah, someone mentioned doing side B and neutral in this game against Diddy can be pretty rough. Diddy has some pretty crazy burst options along with his size. Diddy just generally whiff punishes characters like Joker pretty hard, but Joker is just like next level when it comes to his balancing. He's not like a normal like quick sword type character. Like he has projectiles that are better than yours. He has mobility that's better than yours. He's not even light. He low profiles even more than most small characters. He has crazy range. Joker is like next level, but Diddy's game plan, like general game plan, is actually very good in this matchup. JigglyPuff? I don't know. Puff is definitely a win. I just was deciding if it was a big win or not. Definitely just a big win. Character outclass, I think. Ken is either advantage or strong advantage. It's a really great matchup. I actually have played it a lot. I'm gonna go with strong advantage, I think. A lot of Ken's approaches or attempts to open you up are very linear. Rolling behind you, doing a basic jump in, spot dodging at you. Diddy gets to play in a way where he's covering those options while also simultaneously ignoring them. So he's not taking risks to punish Ken's approaches or buttons while also getting decent damage. Usually I play in a way where I'm not getting the super crazy 70% combos, but I'm getting basic bread and butters because I'm playing from afar. Also, Ken's recovery is very susceptible to Z-drop dare. Ken does a lot of Tatsus or air dodges before he recovers as well, which Diddy has the burst options and just general options to go out there and kill him before he could even double jump or up B. Sometimes there's the occasional thing where you don't kill him and he kills you at really low percents, but that's not so much the matchup as it is Ken. A lot of the time, if people would judge that as Diddy not being able to kill, therefore it makes the matchup hard, but that's more so just Ken in every matchup. He's good. Sometimes it happens, but overall Diddy has so many tools to, I like to call it ignore Ken, because if you can't ignore Ken's bullshit, you're gonna be put in some crazy scenarios where you have to guess for your life, and Diddy has the option to deal with him. Dedede. Some people don't like big characters with Diddy because of the kill power, but if you just play your game and like if you stay disciplined and patient, you know, it's just a character outclass. K Rool like literally can't recover sometimes. D-drop dare. Transcendent. So Kirby, I haven't done that one, but Kirby's very slow and lacks a lot of range. It'd probably take a while because they would try to camp. Kirby players are very defensive because they're slow, so they kind of have to just like sit there and crouch. I don't know if it's a strong advantage or a normal advantage. I haven't played it, but it's definitely at least a character outclass. I'll just go with strong advantage for now. If you want to like play it super safe and consistent, Diddy could probably just time Kirby out a lot of the time. Not saying you have to go that far, but if you have that option, it's probably pretty tough. Also, Kirby is grounded, right? And Diddy controls the ground. Yeah, once Kirby starts going to the air and like jumping at you, it's really tough. It's like Puff. Like Diddy's just gonna snipe you out of the air if you want to do that. Mobility camp is great for Kirby. Yes, that's a good way to word it. Link, I'm gonna go with normal advantage. It's probably the easiest Link. He's not actively throwing as much stuff at you, and he's a little slower, and he's more of an actual sword fighter type character than Young Link and Toon Link. I have faith in this matchup. He's also a little bigger. Link being bigger is a very important factor, I think, and bigger and slower, along with not having a tether. If he's not doing the bomb recovery, it opens up dying to edge guards like Z-drop dare. Optimus Diddy matchup for sure. Little Mac, strong advantage. Little Mac is not good. You have the mobility camp if you really want to. If you really want to just win, you can easily camp. Lucario, this one is probably even. It's been a while since I played it. Lucario surprisingly quite mobile. He can definitely get F tilted and Z drop dared, but there's some crazy mix-ups. Aura Sphere is incredible. He doesn't have a lot of projectiles. He only has one, but that Aura Sphere is crazy. I want to say advantage, but I don't know. It's close. It's a close call. I think I'm gonna go with my gut and go with even. Lucas, I'll go with normal advantage. I feel like Lucas probably just attempts to do like zoning Diddy out, which a lot of projectile characters like to do, but I think Diddy will find more openings than he would against some other projectile characters. Lucina, I'll put in advantage. Has like some mobility and some great frame data, but it's a classic matchup of Diddy being really good against sword characters. Strong advantage versus Luigi. In theory, you could time Luigi out every time. Just saying. It's really fucking annoying, but He's gonna get edge guarded every time too, very often at least. Why is that he's good versus sword characters? Banana is transcendent, so you can't just hit the banana. So therefore Diddy's gonna be whiff punishing a lot of what sword characters do with banana. Moving on, Mario, I will put in normal disadvantage. Could be even. I'm gonna do normal disadvantage for now. I have faith though. I have faith. When I play versus Mario with Diddy, I do very well, but I can see it. Like, I'm not just taking in the fact that I'm winning most of the games as like, okay, it's even. I just see the potential for Mario to fuck Diddy up sometimes, but the other player isn't always doing it. The matches could last very, very long. And in terms of that, like it'd be very defensive. In terms of like getting straight hits and stuff, Mario might actually end up getting more damage per hit. Marth, I'll put that in normal advantage. Mega Man, I'll put that in strong disadvantage. Neutral is just really tough. Mega Man's controlling so much space without any commitment. You can edge guard him fairly easily, but the neutral is just so bad. He also really sets up coverage for Diddy's disadvantage mix-ups really well. Like he'll like throw up airs and then like he gets to cover like the. It makes monkey flip more obvious if you're just covering space with like non-committal moves. The fact that Diddy players are having to fucking trade with barrels and like charge barrels into Mega Man already proves how fucking hard the neutral is if you're having to go that far to do something. It's really hard. Meta Knight, I'll go with strong advantage. Meta Knight's actually very grounded and he has lacking aerial mobility but with a lot of jumps. And he also does have a sword, so like I feel like the whiff punishing is quite great. He's actually pretty light too, so he'll die easily. A lazy recovery will get Z-drop dared. I think he will just outclass Meta Knight most of the time. Mewtwo does have a projectile and a reflect, but this matchup is fine. Thank God, like projectile characters that are fine. I just don't know where exactly I'd put it. Maybe just normal advantage. His recovery gets destroyed. Down tilt up smash is like really amazing versus him. All that stuff. Shadow Ball is really great. Reflect is a nice threat, but the reflect isn't a big deal with how you would play the matchup. You're not just gonna straight up throw a banana. Like that's not how the neutral works in a lot of these matchups. Mii Brawler, I can't see it being great. Advantage. He doesn't have a great projectile or anything. Like I'll just put it in normal advantage and have faith in Diddy Kong. Mii Gunner. Oh god, I never even thought of that. That sounds so fucking hard. This matchup's probably losing. Diddy loses against Mii Gunner? I fucking forgot. They're just never fucking fighting up close and they're always shooting shit. What the fuck? But they're not like the greatest character ever. I can't put it in strong disadvantage. You literally need to camp them. Yeah, this match is gonna take fucking 7 minutes every time. Swordfighter. Probably a little harder than Mii Brawler, but I'll still put it in advantage. This isn't losing, guys. There's no way it's losing. Min Min. I think Min Min would be pretty good. I think Min Min would be advantage. Banana being transcendent is the #1 trait you want in this matchup. She has huge hitboxes. Banana will just go through them. I'm not gonna put it in huge disadvantage, like a huge disadvantage for Min Min, but I think it's at least an advantage. And monkey flip going through arms, oh my god, that's like a cherry on top, you know? I might put this in strong advantage. She's slow too. She's slow. She's not gonna recover. She's not gonna recover. Game & Watch, I think is strong or normal advantage. Whiff punishing him is really great. You have a lot of great out of shield. They have to try to threaten bucket with the banana, but you can just wait it out and react. This matchup's pretty fucking good for Diddy. F tilt's pretty solid, I think. Z drop dare is pretty solid. The ledge trapping is pretty solid. You can really whiff punish the shit out of Game & Watch over and over. You can play a lot more reactionary than he can. Ness. I think this one's pretty tough and it's taken me a long time to learn it. I might put it in even. Some Diddies really like it, some Diddies really hate it. I feel like I'm in the middle. At first I really didn't like it, but I have faith that I think it's been online. There's so many tricks you can do to edge guard, but he surprisingly makes it back some of the time. Sometimes more than he gets edge guarded. I'm gonna go with even for now. It's gonna take a lot of research to perfect that matchup, but I'm a little optimistic, not crazy optimistic. It's definitely fucking annoying. Pac Man, another strong disadvantage matchup. Pac Man puts Hydrant down, and it might as well fucking say game. Diddy can't get rid of it quick enough because his moves don't do enough damage, and it just deletes Banana out of the equation while he's throwing his own fruits at you from like above or some shit. Basically, Pac Man, when he has a Hydrant down, it makes it a lot easier for him to fight people because they're jumping over the Hydrant. Like on paper, right? Like they jump over the Hydrant to try to go hit him. They get messed up, they get anti-aired, blah blah. He's charging his fruits. And that's kind of how Diddy Kong has to do it, because if he runs up to destroy Hydrant, it takes him so long that Pac-Man like has time to countermeasure that. And it kind of just repeats until the game is over. Palutena, I'm gonna put in advantage. Another reason why I love playing Diddy. The recovery is really susceptible to losing. It's kind of like fighting a sword character in terms of like the whiff punishing is really great. Like another case of your general game plan happens to work very well versus a really good character. So there's a lot of ways to play it. So you're so much more versatile than she is in this matchup. You can up smash out of shield a lot of stuff a lot of characters can't press anything against. Even back air can get up smashed. Peach, I think this is normal advantage. Peach usually doesn't get edge guarded. Her up B hitbox is pretty crazy, but she gets Z-drop down air. Diddy Kong is really good at pressuring her for trying to get turnips with his burst options and with banana. Diddy Kong is really good at hitting her out of the air with bananas and Z-drop aerials. She's not going to overwhelm Diddy ever because she's not too slow. You can kind of take your time and watch her because she's not going to approach in any crazy ways. A lot of the time she might even start rolling behind you, kind of like out of a desperation act, because floating gets hard, turnip gets hard to combat with your banana stuff. But it's actually not terrible for Peach, but because she's just a great character. But I think Diddy has an edge. Pichu, I have no fucking idea. I'll put it in normal advantage. Pichu will die to monkey flip really early. I don't know if, I think that situation will happen. Pichu actually gets edge guarded even harder than Pikachu because quick attack doesn't have a hitbox, blah blah blah. Dies to the spike earlier, if you get spiked by Diddy, you're dead, but just a note. T-Jolt, Diddy does pretty well against. Sometimes you can even trade and throw a banana at them. This matchup seems good. Pikachu, all right, here's a crazy moment. You guys can all be mad at me. I think Pikachu is a winning matchup. The neutral feels really great. T-Jolt is really easy to deal with, especially while threatening banana. You can easily slap Pikachu out of the air too. Pikachu also gets edge guarded surprisingly hard for Pikachu, and it's at low percents too. Z-drop there is very consistent versus Pikachu from my experience. I have a lot of faith in this matchup, and I've played it quite a bit. A lot of stuff can get up smashed. Like I find myself getting up smashed out of shield a lot on Pikachu. It really feels like Pikachu has to play a game of keep up against Diddy a lot. A lot of the time, like people just say like, oh, just edge guard, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that situation should happen. You have to make some really bad mistakes to like die very early as Diddy in general, but even versus Pikachu. I enjoy this matchup. A lot of my matchups are also based on theory. Like you might not find me playing these matchups all the time with what I'm saying, but it's true. And I actually do have quite a bit of experience in this matchup, and I really I even like it as Wolf. I even think Wolf versus Pikachu is potentially even. I think Wario is pretty impossible for versus Pikachu though. This is just some perspective of other characters I play versus Pikachu. I think Wolf is okay. I think Diddy is good, and I think Wario is impossible, quote unquote. Olimar, I would put in normal disadvantage. I think this matchup is pretty tough. I think a lot of the time Diddy is actually playing keep up here. I think he gets out damaged a lot. Pikmin throws are actually really hard to deal with. You have Olimar gets overwhelmed pretty easily against a lot of characters. Like that situation happens a lot where Olimar's kind of scrambling to stand his ground. Diddy can do that. Diddy can press a lot of buttons. but the damage is ridiculous to keep up with sometimes. You end up guessing a lot more with Diddy than you do in most matchups, and you're fighting for your life a lot more often too. Like sometimes you just gotta mash with Diddy versus Olimar and just hope that they mash back or something, you know what I mean? Like start playing at your flow, because if they don't, you're gonna be playing a game of keep up that you can't win, I think. Plant. This matchup's probably not terrible for Plant. Probably a normal win, but it's probably really fucking annoying. I don't think that's entirely the matchup's fault. I think Plant is just really annoying, but I'll go with normal win. Z-drop dare is definitely gonna happen a lot versus Plant's recovery, and it's also a slight character outclass, but I think a lot of Plant's kit naturally has some counterplay to Diddy's. Pit is either advantage or strong advantage. I can't see Pit doing too great. This might be a strong advantage. Pit will get outboxed, out whiff punished, Z-drop dared, ledge trapped. Gonna be tough. I actually think PT is advantage. I think Diddy's general game plan with whiff punishing with Banana is really fucking hard to deal with for all the Pokemon. Squirtle's really slow and stubby, gets out mobilitied. Ivysaur gets out mobilitied and super whiff punished and bullied. Charizard is Charizard. If Charizard's in the corner, he's fucked, or on the ledge, he's fucked. They all get Z-drop dared, especially if you give Diddy time to set up with switching. And even if the Z-drop dare, if you're not Z-drop daring them, the ledge is fucking hell for PT. It is hell. It's a really hard matchup in my opinion. It's a little more than a slight advantage. When you monkey flip away from them while they're like in advantage against you, they can't fucking catch you again. Diddy resets so often in this matchup, but when PT's getting hit and pressured, it never ends. It's really fucking hard. Belmonts, I think, are slight disadvantage. Another case of like they're throwing so much fucking shit at you and you can't control it. It's very hard to get in. The thing about some of these projectile matchups is Banana is insane, but it's minimized when they literally just have a lot of fucking projectiles, like a lot. Like sometimes there'll be a character with one projectile, it's like, okay, that's fine. But when they're throwing like 3 at once, that's when Banana is like almost useless, because the projectiles are so active. Even if you land the Banana, you have to fucking block a projectile or something. It's really hard. Once you get in, it's hard for him to get you out. If I play against a Richter that's clearly less experienced of a player than I am, right? With Diddy, I will still struggle, for sure. That's not a jab at anyone. It's not a jab at me. It's not a jab at players. The matchup is genuinely really tough. It's kind of like how I've been talking about with Diddy's game plans working against a lot of these characters. Richter's basic game plan works against Diddy. It's just when you have a game with a lot of characters, that type of matchup will happen. There's just so many matchups, so many characters. Sometimes the character is just naturally countered when your game has a million characters. Ridley, I'll put in strong advantage. He gets bullied, he gets whiff punished by Banana. Big hitboxes don't mean as much when your Banana is transcendent and goes through those hitboxes. Kind of like a sword character. He gets Z-drop dared really easily too, because his up B has startup, or his side B has startup too. His side B will also get Z-drop dared. He'll get down till F smashed even without pivot cancels. Like Ridley will die. R.O.B, yes, normal advantage. Diddy has a little bit more leniency with his item just because he's super mobile. Diddy always has the option to pressure R.O.B. R.O.B's out of shield is kind of scary without gyro. But even then, Diddy has options to bully R.O.B a lot of the time. R.O.B is also pretty big, so monkey flip grab is kind of hard to avoid. R.O.B can get edge guarded a decent amount of the time. F tilt isn't too bad against some air dodges. Z drop dare isn't too bad. R.O.B has a lot of ways to prevent dying off stage, but he has to work pretty hard. He usually doesn't have to work that hard to recover. Some matchups he does. Diddy has a lot of opportunities to do his crazy tricks and crazy damaging combos. His basic general like whiff punish with Banana, monkey flip, Z drop aerial, all that stuff is really good. Sometimes Diddy can get pressured pretty hard, but he definitely has the means of like escaping the pressure. It's a slight advantage, but it's overall, you know, Diddy has the edge. In terms of player versus player, I just feel more flexible with my item than they do with theirs. I don't know if they're not as if they're not as good with the items as I am, or if it's just Diddy being more flexible than R.O.B. I feel like I do a lot more mix-ups with banana stuff than they do with gyro stuff, and that's pretty comfortable. I haven't played any R.O.Bs that do more than 1 or 2 types of gyro mix-ups. It's only nair recatch, sometimes fair. There's never like fast fall timing mix-ups. There's never like recatching it with other tricks. I think the matchup would have more potential for R.O.B if they were willing to force themselves to be more flexible with their item. It feels like a lot of R.O.B players tunnel vision the potential death combo, but they don't give themselves the chance to have more mix-ups for said death combo. There's so much more room to grow with it, but they usually do 1 or 2 ways to get it. Items help you ignore a lot of the guessing that happens, while also having a threat with follow-ups. I think items are the future for Ultimate's meta. Not the future as in like dominating, the future as in like changing how neutral plays. It makes it more consistent and less guessy and random. You actually have much more control over the stage and much more control over the opponent. With an item, there's so much more freedom for you to take less risks, but you also have follow-ups off the item. Robin. This one is surprisingly fine. Robin's very vulnerable and slow. I'll go with even. Despite what I said about like absurd amounts of projectiles are a big problem, there's kind of a pattern to it with Robin. You definitely have opportunities to get your banana, and you definitely have opportunities to get in there. And when you're in and you're pressuring, it's another case of Robin actually does struggle to get you off. Very slow, doesn't have a great grab. You can whiff punish a lot of the actual sword moves, but the projectiles are definitely a problem. Her recovery is extremely vulnerable every single time, but it's definitely not easy for Diddy. I would put it in even, but she has like blatant weaknesses that really save you from having more shitty projectile matchups. Rosa. Yeah, I'm thinking even. Rosa does not back down in neutral. Like, that shit is not easy. She's very big. Her recovery is very susceptible. She's very hard to... She has a lot of trouble getting off ledge. So basically, typical Diddy stuff does work. His disadvantage against Rosa is very tough. She actually tracks him down very well. Edge guards him very well because she's so floaty and the hitboxes are very active. She deals with monkey flip very well. She deals with banana very well. So you have to hold onto it for as long as possible. But I can see it being fine. Roy. I'll put this in normal advantage with Chrom. Very good matchup. You can be overwhelmed. And he surprisingly, I have a hard time Z-drop daring him. I don't know what it is. I think it's because he gets so into the stage. It's good. It's definitely good. Ryu, strong advantage. Can't fucking recover, dude. And it's like Ken, but he's slower. With better projectiles. Better projectiles. His projectiles aren't that good. They're better than they ever have been, but if you're gonna tell me Ryu's projectiles are incredible and like it beats Diddy, then I don't know what to tell you. Samus. I'll put this in disadvantage. This matchup kind of sucks. You can kind of box her when you get in, but like, dude, it's so hard. It's so fucking hard. The projectiles are overwhelming. You get pressured so easily. Here's a perspective. If I'm playing against Samus with Diddy in tournament, that is an optimistic day, to say the least. But I do think I'm pretty good at it naturally, so I wouldn't be afraid to do it, but it's not fun. Moving on, Shulk. I'll put that in normal advantage. Pretty good matchup with some extra variables in terms of like Diddy versus swords with add the Monados. But if you stay disciplined and stay patient, the win will come to you, I think, if you play consistently. I like this matchup. It's like one of those matchups where it's easy to react to when he hits your shield or to when he's approaching. It just takes a while because he refuses to die a lot of the time with the Monados. But it's a good matchup. Sheik. I think this could be a losing matchup. It's really hard to get any openings. She can play reactionary a bit better than you. I think neutral is very tough. Neutral is the most important thing of like any matchup. I do think it's even or losing as well. This one's pretty rough. I think she can time him out. I think she can annoy him with the needles. It's like kind of weird to Z-drop dare her, but definitely possible. Ledge trapping her is pretty hard. That's very important. Neutral, ledge trapping, and edge guarding are all very iffy. That sounds like a hard matchup to me. I might put this in disadvantage because she wins neutral. She wins the ledge trap. We win the edge guard. I guess maybe close because Z-drop dare will happen. She has a better advantage state too, I think. The only thing in Diddy's favor is he's small. Yeah, and that's not even a big factor in this matchup at all. Those scramble situations where you're like pressing your quick buttons, quick safe buttons, trying to get an opening, Sheik wins it every time. She's always able to shield first. She's always able to attack first. Like, she's always one step ahead type of matchup. It's hard. I think this matchup kind of sucks. Snake. I think Snake is slight losing. Holy fuck, dude. Grenade is so impossible to not get hit by. I wouldn't be afraid to do it because I'm personally confident, but I think on paper, this shit is fucking hard. He doesn't die. You're always trading. Diddy doesn't like trades, by the way. It's like Sheik. Like, you're trying to cleanly, like, chip away your opponent and win. You're gonna fucking trade 100% of the time. Snake is slightly loose, but not the toughest. He's slow and we can combo him and stuff. Yes, you will get the occasional crazy opening, and that's what keeps you in contention to win the game, because you will hit him hard occasionally, but it's so hard to get that opening. Grenade just wins him the matchup, and that's what he does. Monkey Flip is quite good in this matchup. Sometimes Snake really corners himself with his own explosives and he's in shield a lot, but it's not like winning you the game. So yeah, I think Sonic is extremely slight advantage. I think whoever gets the first like interaction / stock wins. You've probably seen me play this matchup a lot, just coincidentally, when I try to look for games or high level players. I think the first interaction / stock wins, and I think Diddy is a little better at that with like banana, monkey flip, his pressure, and then Diddy Kong can kind of he can camp him with a lead. In terms of a worst case scenario with Diddy versus Sonic, in terms of winning the game, let's say Diddy takes the first stock and then tries to time him out because he wants to avoid being timed out first. Very normal, high level game plan, right? Versus Sonic. I think it's very doable with Diddy. So you kind of get the first stock and then he'll eventually catch up, and like, cause he's just faster than you and you're trying to like monkey flip away, blah, 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 chip away at him, get the occasional bread and butter combo. He eventually catch up. The goal is to time him out before he fully starts winning again. A lot of the time you'll win before that happens, in terms of like a normal case scenario, like when you win with Diddy. That's how I view the matchup. He definitely can get edge guarded too. Z-drop dare is pretty good. Sometimes you can do it before he can do his like air dodge or aerial mix up. And yeah, Diddy punishes some of the occasional flaws of Sonic hard. Like if he goes for like a poor neutral B, like he'll get like his crazy banana stuff, blah blah blah. So I think it's a good matchup. I do think there's potential for it to go as far as losing though, because if Sonic takes your banana while he's winning and actually holds on to it, like let's say I'm playing a Sonic that's as good with items as I am. I can't see Diddy winning that specific game. If he's losing by a stock or something and Sonic has the banana, I think it's over. But that's not as much the matchup as it is Sonic. I think Sonic can do that in almost every matchup. Like, there's certain ways for him to guarantee a win, but I think before any of that happens, Diddy has a very fair shot of winning. But yeah, Sonic's matchups are extremely simple. Like, it's actually surprising how long I'm talking about it. I guess because Sonic is a hot topic with like online and like, is he good, is he not? But in terms of like the actual matchups with Sonic, it's the most simple you could ever have in the game. There's one or two ways to time your opponent out, and that's what you do because they can't do anything about it. Terry, I think Terry is He might do a little better than Ryu and Ken. This might be normal. Terry kind of gets fucking destroyed though. His recovery is even worse. But he does recover high sometimes. But if he's recovering low, he is fucking dead. Toon Link. So I think Toon Link is similar to Link in terms of it's not that bad. The projectiles aren't as rapid, and Toon Link kind of plays a little slower with them. So it's okay. Toon Link is the best camper of the three. I think it's Young Link versus Diddy specifically because of the rapidness of the projectiles. Specifically, arrows aren't a factor with Toon Link because they're just not good compared to Young Link at least. I think it's fine. Villager, I think is a disadvantage. Very, very similar to Isabelle. Takes banana, is always getting you off him once you get it, once you approach. He's always fucking walling you out. The matches take forever. Like, it's so hard. And a lot of the matchups I thought were bad, like Pikachu or something, like in terms of what I heard when I first started playing Diddy, they ended up being fine with a lot of studying and gameplay. So I think they're hard, man. Wario, I think, is disadvantage. I think this matchup kind of sucks for Diddy. I think Wario does really well. Wario's buttons are just better. I think Wario's buttons are a bit better against Diddy, for sure. I feel like Bite happens more often to Diddy than Monkey Flip happens to Wario, because Wario's so airborne, and Diddy, like, is more grounded a lot of the time. And, like, Wario doesn't care if Diddy's, like, monkey flipping away and disadvantage and all that. Like, Wario with banana is pretty crazy, too. Oh, Wario recovering high. That's the #1 thing a lot of the time. Wario doesn't give a fuck about the ledge trapping or the edge guarding. Wario recovering high with Mike is like Pac Man surfing on a hydrant. Yeah, it's fucked up, man. That's why Wario's really good, by the way. He ignores ledge trapping so many times, like 9 times out of 10. For Diddy, it's like, fuck, man, neutral is already so bad. So, like, now I can't even edge guard you when I actually get an opening. Wii Fit. That sounds fucking annoying. Holy fuck. I think it might be winning too. I feel like up close, Diddy's gonna kind of throw out all the buttons in the world. And like the edge guarding will be fine. Sometimes you might have to wait out the soccer ball, but there's definitely chances for F-Tilt and Z-Drop Dare. Banana and Charge Peanut beat the ball. Great. We're small and her hitboxes are fucking weird. Very true. Yeah. This matchup seems less annoying than I originally thought. I just thought of Wii Fit stuff. Alright, Wolf. Pretty important moment of truth. I think it's pretty bad. You're always trading at best. Like in a best scenario, you're always trading with him. It fucking sucks, man. Wolf just outclasses you. Has anyone played Diddy vs. Wolf and gotten hit by Wolf and you just feel like a fucking computer? Like a CPU, like level 3 CPU? You can't stop getting hit. He just hits me with like 5 up airs in a row and I'm like, dude, I can't get away. I like Wolf vs. Diddy. I like as Wolf, and I hate Diddy vs. Wolf. I fucking hate it. But yeah, ledge trapping and edge guarding is a thing. But dude, neutral and disadvantage is so bad. Also, Wolf fucking low profiles more than Diddy, and I will stand by that to this day. Like, Wolf avoids moves by his size way more than Diddy. Oh yeah, if Wolf holds on to the banana, holy fuck! Also, advantage state is not that good for Diddy. Wolf's mobility is so crazy. Alright, Yoshi. I'll first off say it's not losing or something. It's it's maybe a slight win. It takes forever though. It takes forever. But it's fine. You just gotta take it really slow. Like, Egg is meaningless. Like, his approaches are pretty basic, even though like he's fast in the air. A lot of camping. It's kind of like if Diddy had like a sword, but like a really weak sword, but it's enough to keep Yoshi out, if that makes sense. Because Yoshi has trouble versus sword, and Banana's kind of like a transcendent whiff punish, stuff like that. Young Link. I think this is a pretty bad one. The projectiles are at a pretty rapid rate. It's really hard to even get a banana in your hand sometimes. But edge guarding is pretty good. But overall, this matchup fucking sucks. He mashes on you just like you mash on him. His frame data is so good that he can actually like ignore monkey flip sometimes and like kind of hit you. He's always shooting projectiles at you. It feels like you're always trapped. Like you can't get your own game plan going because his game plan is just so rapid. I think you need to cheese him to win. Yes. And if you need to cheese someone to win, you're probably not winning the matchup. Zelda, I would say win. It's not like a classic like zoner or something. I think this matchup could potentially be bad if something like Zelda side B was actually really good. I think she's too slow. Yes, and she can get bullied sometimes. Zero Suit, I think, is advantage. Diddy's very small. Zero Suit always hates that. Mars explained it super well in his latest matchup chart. I feel like a Zero Suit player would explain it better than the Diddy player, because the Diddy player just does Diddy stuff and it works. But the Zero Suit player knows what's the problem. Neutral as hell. She doesn't have the hitboxes to go to the air. She can't play the ground game. Who can play the ground game with Diddy, right? It's very rare. So here it is. I think this is a good general matchup chart for my Diddy Kong. I love playing Diddy Kong. He's my #1 character right now in terms of my favorite and my main, blah, blah, blah. And this is my process with him so far, my progress with him so far. This isn't a definitive matchup chart. More so, it's my matchup chart. It's my progress. I can't see things drastically changing because I have been playing Diddy Kong for a while now. Yeah, I think a couple disadvantaged matchups could go up. I think a couple even matchups could go down or go up. I'm very optimistic about this character. I think he is incredible. And I even think the hardest matchups do have a sliver of hope. I love this character. He's my favorite character in the game. Other than Sephiroth.